Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome back. In this video, we are looking at the Monday NBA slate. Two more games for us to look at for DraftKings Fanduel. We'll have some other videos out throughout the day, so be sure to check them out if you want to. As always, if you enjoy the content, appreciate it. Hit the like button, subscribe. If you haven't already, you can check out all the socials down in the description. Play on Prize Picks. Use my code process for a deposit match up to $100 to get signed up. And let's go ahead and get started. So, unfortunate news, this Memphis Warriors series has been an injury fest, and we got another one. Ja Morant is doubtful. Doesn't look like he'll play today with the knee injury, and that basically goes all the hope for the Grizzlies because they haven't really had anybody else step up besides Ja Morant, who's scored 34 points in at least 34 in all three games this series, and he's been putting the team on his back and hitting threes. He's hit 4 threes in all three games at least, so he's really done everything for them. They're going to miss him severely today. I don't know how they'll be able to score enough points to keep up with the Warriors if Ja Morant is not there, but we've been surprised before. I'm hoping we get surprised again and we get at least a close competitive game. That is good for DFS. Steph Curry is $9,400. He looks like a decent option today. He's going to get a lot of open looks. He got 14 free throws last game. Still playing solid minutes. It was a blowout, 30 points, so he didn't really play much in the fourth, at the end of the game at least. So he looks good at 94, but I think you can go down to Jrue Holiday as well. He took a whopping 30 shots last game, played 43 minutes. That game went down to the wire again. This series has been fun. It's been pretty close defensive battle except for that one game, and we've seen both teams kind of have some of their stars at points struggle in this series. With like Tatum last game was really bad, only had 10 points, and we've seen some guys really step up nicely, like Jaylen Brown, back-to-back great games. Holiday's really stepped up his playmaking and his scoring a bit. Even though he's not shooting efficiently, at least he's taking 20-plus shots in all three games without Chris Middleton. They definitely need a guy like Holiday to step up and stand right next to Giannis there. You have Jordan Poole, $7,100. He is going to play around starter-level minutes here. They shook up their starting lineup a bit without Gary Payton, and they started bigger with Kuminga, and then they started Otto Porter in the second half. So we'll see which direction they decide to go. Even if they bring Poole off the bench, I mean, it's not the worst thing. He's going to get more ball handling off the bench. He's going to get some more usage, not playing all of his minutes with Clay and Steph. And then we got a lot of value here. Now, Smart looks okay, but you got to go like DeAnthony Melton. Without Ja Morant, he's going to get a lot of minutes and a lot of more usage and a lot of more shots to go with him off the bench, but starting with Tyus Jones, who's $3,400. We've seen him put up some solid games this year. He hasn't had the best series, but this is his chance to step up. He's only made 2 out of 16 shots so far this series, so that's like 12.5%, I believe. He needs to step up. We've seen him, back in beginning of the month or beginning of last month at the end of March, where he was getting some minutes without Ja Morant there and putting up some solid games, scoring at a good clip. He does give you those 10 assist upside type of games, those double-double games, and they're going to need like the best version of Tyus Jones today. He doesn't turn the ball over, which is always good for a guy, for backup point guard, and I think he's leading the league in that, in assist-to-turnover ratio. Over at shooting guard, you have Jaylen Brown, $8,200. I think he looks like a good option today. He's been better than Tatum in this series in terms of fantasy, except for that game 1, but back-to-back games, putting up 50 and 54. He's shooting the ball pretty well. He's getting to the free throw line last game. He's getting you peripheral stats, playing monstrous minutes. So if you're not able to get up to Tatum, who's 97, I'd much rather take the savings and go with a Jaylen Brown. Desmond Bane is going to have to be a really big offensive threat today. Did hit 4 threes last game. Only played 30 minutes with a blowout. Wasn't really in rhythm, but he's definitely going to have to take more than 10 shots today. I know he's might not be 100%, but hopefully he gets better day after day because they're going to need the best version of him. Expect Dillon Brooks to be fired up today, coming back from that suspension. He's missed basically 2 full games in this series. He got ejected 3 minutes into game number 2, and now he is back, 55, with all the usage that he likes to take on for himself. He's going to be looking to take as many shots as possible, so at 55, I think he looks like a good option. But you might want to get to like DeAnthony Melton also at 48, and then you can plug in Brooks at small forward. But Melton and Jones are going to need some of these guards to really step up, and I'm going with both of them. He was already playing solid minutes without Dillon Brooks the last couple of games, and now he should still continue to see as many minutes, if not a little bit more, without Ja Morant today. So I'll plug in at Melton. I like his price tag at 48. other picks would definitely be Pat Connaughton, who continues to be underpriced at 36, and he played 33 minutes last game. He's a guy that should be priced probably over 4,000. Like, he should be similarly priced to Grayson Allen. Allen started last game, but he didn't really produce. Didn't hit a 3. So they decided to go with Pat Connaughton to close, and that's something that they will do. At times, just go with the hotter hand between him and Grayson Allen. Small forward is where I'll plug in Dylan Brooks here at 55. Get at least to 3 Memphis Grizzlies, most likely probably 4 Memphis Grizzlies today, just with the value that we have with Tyus Jones, D'Anthony Melton. I do like getting up to Jaylen Brown today. Giannis looks great for me as a pay up, and it's easy to get up to Giannis today when you have all these pay down options at multiple positions. Other picks would be like Otto Porter. He's probable today. There's a chance he starts, even if he doesn't, coming off the bench. Playing solid minutes, like at least over 20. He does give you upside at $4,100. He had like a lot of blocks and steals last game, which helped him. And then if they decide to go with Jonathan Kuminga again, he still is a fine value. He got 21 fantasy points in 18 minutes. He did score 18 points and hit 8 of 10 shots, which isn't always going to happen with him. He's not going to always take that many shots, but if he's starting again at this price tag, it's very good in terms of just a value piece. But at power forward, I'm going up to Giannis at 11.4. He's at home. If you are not aware, if not betting on these games, if you're not like in a state that allows that, the home teams have been dominating in the second round. They are 12-1 after the Sixers and the Mavs win once again yesterday. So 12-1 in the second round have been the home teams, and they've actually won 12 straight. The only game that the home teams have lost in the second round has been the first game between the Warriors and the Grizzlies, which seems like weeks ago. It was actually the beginning, first day of May, so that was like almost 9 days ago. So I think you might want to probably bank on the home teams again today. They've been coming through. Giannis looked unstoppable last game. I know Tatum played really poorly, but Giannis at home is still going to be a very big threat to drop almost 80 fantasy points on any given basis. Over at center, you got some good options in this one. Al Horford's been turning back the clock. I mean, I don't know what he has turned into the last few games. 16 rebounds for him, put up 4 threes, 22 points, put up almost 60 fantasy points. Can't remember the last time I've seen Horford drop almost 60 fantasy points. So if you wanted to go to him, I guess he's fine. But I still like the savings that I can get with Robert Williams, who's playing good minutes in terms of at least 23 to 25. If he's not in foul trouble, you can get a little bit more. Horford was playing really well, so they kind of stuck with him in the second half of last game. That's not always going to happen. So if everybody's jumping on Al Horford, you can get to Robert Williams and hope that Horford doesn't play as well, or maybe Horford starts missing some shots, and then they stick with Robert Williams, who has a better game, because you don't always just want to stick with what the public is doing. On these 2-game slates, you would end up just tying with a lot of people. Other picks would definitely be Draymond at 64. Jaren Jackson could be another Memphis piece that you plug in. Portis came off the bench last game, so if he does that again, then his minutes might not be as secure, which is probably likely because they ended up winning. Clark, 54. His minutes came down a lot last game. Didn't really play well, but it was also a big blowout, so he's also something you can't count on. He could be an intriguing GPP sort of play, but I like Robert Williams probably the best, just with the savings that we get with him and the value. And then last but not least, over at the guard position, or whatever position you can plug in, I'll plug him in at the forward, just because guard has some other point guards that we can get up to. I'm going with Jaylen Brown at 82, get to a Boston Celtic piece in here. I like the price tag on Brown. He's playing solid minutes here. I think you can get to Jrue Holiday as well if you wanted to, but I think this game will continue to be close. We're getting big minutes out of Brown, and if you can put up another 50-point outing, that would be great. That'll be just about 6x at this price tag. So that's about it for the DraftKings side. Let's go ahead and take a look at FanDuel. All right, over on FanDuel, point guard plays, we have Steph Curry as your most expensive guy here, assuming Ja Morant's not able to play. He's 94. He looks good, and just because I normally been getting up to Ja Morant, but now I have a lot of money left over to get to somebody else, just without Ja Morant today. So Steph Curry makes like a reasonable guy to plug in here. Other picks would be Jrue Holiday, 86. Only $800 difference between him and Steph. I think you can get to both if you wanted to. If I had to pick one, it would be Steph. Other picks would be maybe Jordan Poole at $7,200. Value picks, once again, D'Anthony Melton, 47. Looks like a decent one, but Tyus Jones will still be the first guy that I plug in to start off my point guard plays. Over at shooting guard, Jaylen Brown looks decent. There's a much closer gap between Brown and Tatum on FanDuel. It's only a $1,000 difference. So in that sense, you can get up to Tatum instead. Brown at 9K is a lot different than 89. So, a lot different than 82 that he is on DraftKings. Like Holiday's price at 86, going further down here. We got some good price tags on like Klay Thompson at only 65. Great price tags on these Grizzlies guys. 47 for Melton, only 5K for Desmond Bane. 55 for Desmond Bane, only 5K for Dillon Brooks. Those guys look all really nicely priced and look like great plays. But I'll get up to Jrue Holiday here at $8,600. I like that you can play him at shooting guard. Over at small forward, Tatum, Giannis look great plays. You can get to Brown if you wanted to as well. It's only, like I mentioned, closer gap between these two guys on FanDuel. Well, that's a good value here, though. I'm going to stick with one of them. I'm going with Dillon Brooks at 5K. Bane makes sense to plug in here as well. If not, you can go further down to maybe like Grayson Allen, Kuminga, if you think he will have a start again and have a decent game. And then Otto Porter looks okay, but 48, you can need like 30 to be satisfied. So probably will pass on that. Power forward, easy to get up to Giannis here, 11-3. He's going to be very popular, but it's tough for me to fade him when I have all this value on both sites. Other picks for me would be like going down to Robert Williams, 54. Draymond, I like him at 63. Jaren Jackson looks better on DraftKings, but still playable at 69. And then maybe you can take a shot on like Clark if he's not going to get that much ownership with the fewer minutes that he played last game with the blowout. And then last but not least, you can get up to Horford at 74, but there's a big difference between him and Robert Williams. $2,000 difference. I'm not going to bank on Horford outscoring Williams by like 20 plus every game when Williams has been averaging the more fantasy points during the regular season. Horford's had a couple of good games in the series, but don't expect him to do that every single game at this point of his career. Williams is a guy that will probably become a little bit lesser owned if people are still a little bit worried about his minutes. I like him on FanDuel with the blocks and steals that he gives you, so I'm plugging him in at 54. And that's what I got for the picks on both sides. I kind of like this slate with the value that we have from Tyus Jones. It might be one that we can make some good props on Prize Picks once they release the Grizzlies players on there. And that's about it for the video. Best of luck tonight, and I'll see you all next time.